So welcome everybody. My name's Philomena, and I'll be guiding you through this practice for the next hour. This is integration, and so it's a little bit of a slower flow. Temperature's not quite as hot as usual. And a couple things. We have some teacher training coming up. I know Jared's thinking about it. It's a great experience. It's literally changed my life, changed my teaching. Angelise, I was a very different teacher before I did teacher training with yoga. It was interesting because my real job is a teacher. I teach anatomy and physiology. In fact, Angelise is one of my students at PA College. And I always thought that being a professor would make me a great yoga teacher, but the exact opposite happened. Learning how to become a yoga teacher informed my real job, and I feel like I'm much more effective at teaching. Hi, Hala, I'm so glad you're here. We're going to start in Supta Baddha Konasana tonight. So you're going to just lay on your back. And so this style of yoga, I'm not going to be demonstrating, but you can watch Amanda over here. She'll demonstrate the postures. I usually look around the room and offer assisting if you need it, or verbally or physically. So I'm going to put out some cards here at the front of your mat, and you can turn them yes or no throughout this practice if you want or don't want any physical hands-on assists. I'll start it out with a yes. So if you're so inclined to change it to no, you certainly can. Put your hands on your belly. Inhale into your belly. Inhale to your ribs, all the way up to your collarbones. Hold your breath up there for a moment and exhale. Pause at the bottom and inhale. Stop at the top. Let the air out. Keep going just like this. Call this the 4-part breath. Your inhale is one part. Your pause when you're full is another part. Emptying is a third part. And the fourth part is being empty, being hungry for air, hanging in that space. And then you start that cycle over and over and over again. I'm going to tell you something that's very powerful. If you can control your breathing, you can regulate your emotions. Imagine never getting reactive again in your life. And it can happen. You can have that by just coming to this 4-part breath over and over again. Bring your knees together and keep your knees bent. Walk your feet beyond the edges of your mat and allow your knees to cave to center. And if you don't know what I mean, you can just glance up here. I'm going to demonstrate it. You're going to stay on your back though. Stay on your back and just let your knees cave towards center. If you want more of a stretch, heel toe your feet further apart so your knees are not braced together and they're just kind of hovering there in the center. You can stay just like that. You could lift your right foot and put your right ankle on the outside of your left knee. Allow the weight of that leg to take your foot down towards the floor. Really stretching out the outside of your hip, all the while remembering and honoring that 4-part breath. Move your hands where it's comfortable. If you want to keep them on your belly, you certainly can, but you can find another spot for them. Release that and set up on the other side. If you're going for that big hip stretch, let your left knee cave towards center. Opposite foot lifted up. Put your foot over the outside of your knee. Yep, looks like all of you got it. And then the weight of that leg, just let it take you down to the floor. Attempt to get both butt cheeks on the floor, though. Yeah, that's it, Angelise. Just lift that up slightly. so you can get that big stretch. And release. Put both of your feet flat on the floor. Prop yourself up like I'm demonstrating. So your hands behind you, knees bent. Cinch in your core. So don't make it that cinching in like when you see yourself in the mirror in a bathing suit and you're like, no, just a little slight sustainable contraction in your core. And let both knees rock over to the right and back through center. If your knees are knocking into each other, separate your feet more. Lots of space so your knees have room to move. So separate your feet even more, Sam. So get your feet pretty wide and then let your knees go down. That'll give you a nice stretch. Keep going just like that. And the next time your knees are over to the right, walk your hands behind you and bend your elbows. So options here, you could keep your elbows bent like this, or you could stretch your hands out towards the backside of your mat and put your forehead on the mat. You're looking for a big stretch from your left armpit down the left side of your body, your ribs, all the way to your hip. Now wake up the right side. You might need to stretch that right arm further out, lengthen the right side as well. You might not feel as much of a stretch, but you want more length in both sides of your body. 2 more inhales and an exhale. 1 more. Breathe in, stay with it. And exhale, sink into the floor. Come back up to center and pause in neutral for a moment with both of your hands propped just like we were before, knees forward, and just experience that wave of stretch through your body. Now both knees over to the left and walk your hands behind you and check in. Most of us are asymmetrical in our spines, so you might not have access to laying down on this side, or you might find it easier to lay down on this side. So experiment with your body placement, and now all of your attention to the sides of your body. Make them both long. How could you accentuate this stretch? Return to center and hug your knees to your chest. In other words, wrap your arms around your shins, forehead to your knees, and start to rock forward in your back. Amanda will demonstrate for you. So forward and back on your mat, back and forth, massaging your back, even the whole way up to your head and your neck. Get as much of a massage as you can. After about your third roll, move into downward facing dog. And again, she'll show you that. Move right into your downward facing dog. And in your downward facing dog, we'll breathe together. So inhale. Yep, that's it. Keep rolling. That's great. And once you've rolled into your downward facing dog, move around, stretch it out. Wow, Sam, nice move. Inhale up into your heels, up onto your tippy toes, and exhale, press your heels down. Yeah, bend your knees a little bit, Angeles. And you too, Caitlin. Separate your feet hip width distance apart. Perfect. Yeah. And bend your knees a bit more. Now way up onto your tippy toes with your inhale. And then press your heels down on the floor on your exhale. Go further up onto your tippy toes. Way up. Way up onto your tippy toes, like you're a ballerina. Yes. And exhale, heels down. Good. Twice more in. Wait for the pause. And exhale, press down. Pause. Remember that 4-part breath. Inhale, get full. Exhale, empty. Last time, breathe it in. Lift your whole body up. Exhale, press down. Step to the head of your mat. Both feet up to the very front of your mat. Put your hands on your thighs, cat and dog. Move your tailbone up towards the ceiling, shoulders up towards the ceiling. Dome your spine. Middle of the spine up towards the ceiling. Think about an angry cat. Tuck your chin, head down towards the floor. Tuck your tailbone way under, and then we go back the other way. Now that you know what you're doing, synchronize these movements with your breath. Exhaling into your dome, hanging out there for the pause, making that pause feel good, an extra stretch at the end, and then inhaling into your cow, we often call this, or dog. and waiting for that pause there. Twice more, just like that. Going back and forth. Now that you know what you're doing, feel what's going on in your body. Feel the areas of tension. Notice the areas of numbness. Where don't you feel something? How can you wake it up? The next time you're in your ragdoll, your dome shape, pull in your abdominal muscles, press both feet down on the floor, squeeze your legs together. Feel that squeezing of your legs together lift you up. Slowly, bone by bone, come on up. And inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Look up towards the ceiling. Wake up your fingers, every joint and every finger, your wrists, your elbows. Take your arms back. Just reach up and open up that heart of yours. Hands to heart center. We'll start with one Om together. If you don't know what that sounds like, you can just inhale and slowly breathe out with us. Big breath in. Om. Release your hands by your side. Inhale your arms up. Bend your knees, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, stay for your pause, and fold. Inhale, back to stand, arms up. Just hang out here for a moment. Fold. Halfway lift. High push-up all the way to the floor. So go to a high push-up and lower your whole body down to the floor. 3 cobra poses. Move your hands to the base of your ribs. Again, Amanda's going to demonstrate. Lift up your heart and exhale down. So you're just lifting up your chest, I should say. Can't really just lift up your heart, right, Angeles? And exhale down. Last time, lift up your chest. Now press into your hands so much so that you're going to straighten your elbows, come into an upward facing dog, retract your shoulders, open up your chest, roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Make a big V shape with your body and move up here, Angela, so your whole body's on the mat. Yeah, that'll be better. And separate your feet just a bit. Thank you, Sam, for organizing the breath. One more in. All of it out. Step to the head of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. So right into that halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Stand. Fold. Halfway lift. High push-up. You could put your knees down on the mat for this high push-up into your low push-up. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Breathe in together. And out. The whole point of this, in and out, is to synchronize your breath with your movement. Last one in. Air out. Move to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold. Stand, reach up, shoulders down your back. Fold. Halfway lift. High to low push up. Let the air out, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Move your right foot up to your right hand into a low runner's lunge. Right foot up to your right hand. Low runner's lunge. Lower your left knee down to the floor. So left knee down to the floor. Both hands on top of your right thigh. And move your front foot forward on your mat. Now, heavy body towards the front of your mat. Stretch out the front side of your left thigh. Really stretch it out. Tent your fingertips on either side of your front foot. Tuck your back toes under and straighten both knees. This is when it's nice to have 2 blocks, especially if you have tight hamstrings. Grab those 2 blocks. It'll make the floor a little closer for you, and you can straighten your right knee more. Bend your left knee once again, both hands on top of your thigh, and lunge forward. Stay where you're at. I'm just going to get up. Stay where you're at. You got it. And then tent your fingertips around your front foot. Good. And straighten both legs. And you can put your hands on either side of these blocks as you straighten this knee. Yep. Just go ahead and straighten that knee. Straighten it. Yep. Like this. So you're going to straighten your knee. Yes. And you can grab your blocks when you go that straight. So back and forth between these two poses. Those of you that are familiar with my class, go ahead and get juicy with it. And then both hands on your thigh and heavy body. You want that stretch right there. Tent your fingertips, tuck your back toes under, and straighten both knees. Looking for that stretch behind your right thigh now. Humble warrior is where we're heading next. So bend your right knee quite a bit. Flatten your back foot on the floor. So your back foot is flat on the floor on an angle. Interlace your fingers at your low back and move your knuckles towards the space behind you. Just like we started tonight, long side body. Get the body sides really super long. Tuck your chin. We're going to stay here for another slow inhale, holding it at the top, and an equally slow exhale. Inhale, both arms up towards the ceiling and stay in your warrior one. Nice, Emma. Move this right foot just a little bit to the right edge. Sydney, just a bit. So you're not kind of balancing like this. It's a little easier this way. 2 more breaths in. Out. Last one. Both hands down to the mat. High push-up. Remember, you could always put your knees down on the mat for this low push-up. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Move your left foot forward into a low runner's lunge. Lower your right knee down to the floor. Put both hands on top of your thigh. And then lunge your body forward. Angelise, move your foot way forward even more. Even more. You've got such long legs. If you get it way up to here and keep going back and forth between these poses, you know what you're doing. When you're ready, straighten both legs. And now lunge forward. You want that stretch there. Do you feel it? Good. And then tent your fingertips on either side of that front foot. Straighten both knees. Good. Back and forth. Identify the pose that's giving you the most information, the most sensation, and stay there. You don't have to keep swinging between these two poses. You can listen to what's going on and hang out on one more than the other. Humble warrior. Humble warrior, flatten your back foot. Lift your back knee off of the floor. And get some space between your 2 feet widthwise. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Drive your knuckles towards the back of your mat. Hug in your core. Really cinch in those abdominal muscles. That'll sustain you for this last inhale. Exhale. Release. Warrior one and stay. Let's do this one together. Breathe in. Out. 2 more. Breathe it in. Let it go. Final breath in. Hands down to the mat. High to low. Push up, knees up or down. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Step to the head of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Move your toes together, arms up. And we're going to move this one too. Straighten your knees. Lift your arms up towards the ceiling, palms up and back, back, back. Ring out your shoulders and back down into your chair. Couple more just like that. You're driving this with your breath. That's it. Exhaling as you fold over and as you open up your chest into your chair, inhale. The next time you go into your chair, stay in your chair, all the air in, fold. Halfway lift, high to low push up. Breathe it in, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breath cycles here. We're going to roll through that sun salutation B. String all those poses together. Last one in. All of it out. Move to the front of your mat. Breathe it in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Chair, sit down in your chair for an inhale and fold. Right away, release. Halfway lift, high to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right-sided warrior, plant your right foot. Inhale, reach pelvis to hands to fingertips to fingernails. Hands down to the mat, high to low. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Warrior on the left. Press your feet down to the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Hands down to the mat, high to low. Breathe the air in, lifting up, and all of it out. One more sun salutation B. You got 2 more breath cycles. Stretching out your body, cracking your body. Step to the head of your mat. Breathe it in, halfway lift. All of it out, fold. Reach. Open your chest. Fold. Halfway lift. High to low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior on the right. Plant and reach. Arms up to the ceiling. Hands down to the mat, high to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left-sided warrior. Feel it in your armpits even. Hands down to the mat, high to low. Breathe the air in as you lift up and let it go. Downward facing dog. Crescent warrior on the right. Move your right foot up to your right hand and press the ball mound of your back foot. So this time you don't need to flatten your back foot. You're just going to stay up on the ball mound of your back foot. Exactly, Sydney. So Cindy has a straight line growing down her foot. It's not leaning to one side or the other. So that's what we're after, that symmetry. And then arms up. Now listen carefully. You're going to bounce up into a knee bend. So knee bend. Cross your leg over and sit down. Keep your arms tucked in. Back up into that knee bend and reach back for crescent with your arms back. Really retract your shoulders. We're going to do that about 3 more times. Feeling that bounce in the leg. Cross over. Don't look at me because my balance is off. Back up into your knee bend and then reach it on back. Now add the breath. Inhale up. Cross over, sit, stretch out your hip, inhale up, reach it on back for your crescent lunge. Really open up that chest. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Now your back knee can stay up or you can sit on the floor, hands to heart center, and twist to your right. Put your elbow over your knee or your thigh. Yep, you got it, exactly. And so you want this elbow to go up towards the ceiling. Yes. Open up your arms, exactly. And breathe in together, long spine, stay with it. And exhale, twist. Twice more, breathe in, get long. Exhale, twist. Final inhale. Let the air out, up into your crescent warrior. Warrior 2, facing the side edge of your mat with your hands on your hip. So warrior 2, your front foot is 90 degrees. I'm sorry, your front foot is at 12 o'clock. Your knee is at 90 degrees. So separate your feet quite a bit. So tons, more than you think, even more, even more. Good. And now we're going to move it. Straighten your knees, arms up to the ceiling. Bend that front knee, arms down towards the ceiling, floor. Yep, back and forth a couple times just like that. Good. And as you go down, notice that knee right over the ankle. That's what you're after. So adjust your front foot. The next time we go up, we're going to go into the warrior 2 and stay. Stick it. Cinch in those abdominal muscles. Now think about your spine. You're asking for it to be straight. So lean this way a little bit. Yeah, that's it, Angelique. Angelique's good. Flip your front palm, reverse, and straighten your front leg. Go into a big side body bend here. Extended side angle. Back into your warrior 1. Lean your body, long spine into your extended side angle. Put your hand in front of your knee. Get some connection there, pushing your hand into your knee. Arm up and slide that shoulder blade down your back. Look up towards the ceiling. Back up into your warrior 2. Flip your front palm, straighten your front knee, and move into 5-star. So arms out, feet out. Big, huge 5-star. Get super expansive here in your 5-star. Open it up. High goddess. Bend your knees, heel toe them together just a bit so that your knees and ankles are lined up. Goalpost arms. Goalpost arms. And then twist to one side. Come back to center. Twist to the opposite side. Good. Twice more. Twist. Back to center. And twist. When you come back to center, inhale. Twist on the exhale. Inhale. Twist on the exhale. Back into your 5-star. Stretch it out once again. Wide leg forward fold. Put your hands on your hips. Bend at your hips. And hands down to the floor. Separate your feet more, most of you. Good. And have a slight pigeon toe going on here with your feet. Just a bit of a pigeon toe. Once you have that, relax your head down to the floor. Some of you might even be able to put the crown of your head on the floor. Exactly, Emma. That's it. This is a very subtle move. I probably won't be able to see it, but you're just going to lift the right side of your pelvic bowl up towards the ceiling. Another way you can think of it is your right hip just a little bit up towards the ceiling, and then your left hip up towards the ceiling. Notice those lines of stretch on your legs. Yep, very subtle, but gives you so much stretch. So just the right hip, seesaw it up, and then the left hip, seesaw it up, back and forth. Find neutral with your pelvis. Press your feet down on the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Let that energy lift you up to stand, whole way up to stand. Right-sided triangle pose. Move your right foot to 12 o'clock. Keep your back foot just as it is and right foot to 12 o'clock. Arms out to T. Long spine. I love how you said that tonight, Amanda. What'd you say? Horizontal? How'd you say that? Yeah, get as horizontal as you can. Like make your spine perpendicular, as perpendicular with the floor as possible. And then put your hand down and reach your arm up towards the ceiling. Yes, yes. Nice lines. Put your hand on here just for a moment. Let me see what's going on. Good. You want the spine long. Good. Now look up towards your up towards the ceiling. You feeling that in your leg? Hurts so good. All right, look down at your front foot. Going to fly in and out of half moon about 3 times, similar to how we did that with the crescent warrior. So look down at your right foot, and like you're going to do a little somersault, or is that a somersault? Cartwheel, thank you. And then hand back down. Obviously, I was not a gymnast. And up, and just feel that buoyancy, that elasticity of your tissue, that loading and release. And once you feel like you got it down, then land and stick your half moon. Go into your half moon and stay. This is another awesome spot for a block. That connection really helps. Yeah, that's it. Good. One more big inhale. Spread apart as much as possible. Swing your back leg forward fold at the front of your mat. Let your head relax. Get your feet and make sure they're lined up with your hips. So you could separate your feet just a bit, and that'll give you some more balance when we get into these balancing poses. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands. High push up all the way down to your mat. Go the whole way down to your mat. Right arm out to a T. Take your right arm out to a T. And then roll over that right shoulder. Open up that right shoulder. This isn't for everybody, but if you tend to be pretty flexible, especially in your hips, bend your left knee. You could try it on. If it doesn't work, just don't do it. And then put your foot on the floor behind it. I can't demonstrate it because I'm that person that can't do it. If you don't know what I mean, Amanda's got it going on here. You can bend. Yep, you got it, Angelise. But your arm has a tendency to go back towards the back of your mat. Move your fingertips, just walk your fingertips up towards the front edge of your mat. You really want to keep that stretch. Good. Yes, and you can take a bind behind your hand. See how your friend's doing that? Caitlin's doing it. Caitlin, right? Mm-hmm. But not, it's not for everyone. And then come back to your belly. Other side, left arm out to T, and then roll over that left shoulder. Stretch out the front side of your chest. This is a great spot to get in control of your breathing. So the next time someone pulls out in front of you, you just take a deep, slow breath in, deep, slow breath out, and you regulate your emotions. Come back to your belly. Upward facing dog. Move your hands to the base of your ribs. Roll over your toes. Downward facing dog. Left-sided crescent warrior. Move your left foot forward in your crescent warrior. We're going to do that bouncing fun again. Then you're going to bounce up. Hands up. Thank you, Amanda. And then bring your hands down. Feel that stretch in your hip. Inhale, arms up. Reach it back and fly your crescent warrior. Really open up your chest. Good. And then arms up. Knee up, comes up. Cross over. Elbows to the side. Back up, knee up, reach your foot back and arms back. Now let's add the breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cross and sit. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cross and sit. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back. Open up your chest. Arms up to the ceiling with your inhale. Hands to heart center and twist. Back knee, remember, it can always go down the floor. So you're going to twist over to my voice. Yep. And the back knee can go down to the floor, elbow to knee. If you want more fire, you can lift that back knee up. It's up to you. Open up your arms. 2 more. In and twist. 1 more. Breathe in and twist. Inhale, crescent warrior facing to the front of your mat. And warrior 2 with your hands on your hips. Bend and straighten your front knee with your breath. So inhaling as you lift up and exhaling as you go down. So you want your torso facing the long edge of your mat. Good. Exactly. That foot, 12 o'clock. Yep. And then twist your torso towards me. Yes. There it is. What do you think of yoga? Too early to say, huh? Give me a minute, Philomena. Okay, go back down into your warrior 2 and stay in your warrior 2 with your arms out. Good. We got 3 here. Things to do. Press your feet into the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Nice adjustment. I saw that go over your whole body, Sydney. Core in, broadening across your chest. Breathe in. Out. Flip your front palm and straighten your front leg. Big side body bend. Yeah, feel it even in your ribs there, Sam. I can see them sticking out and stretching. Down into your warrior 2 once again. Side angle. Put your left hand in front of your knee. So it usually goes in the front of your knee. And arm up by your ear. Yes, stretch it on out. Think about that diagonal line from your fingertips all the way to your foot, even waking up the muscles on the outside of your foot to feel that stretch. Back up into your warrior 2. Flip your front palm and reverse. Straighten your front leg once again. Hands to your hips. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Actually, let's do 5-star again. 5-star if something else planned. 5-star. Get stretched out. Down into your high goddess once again, which will require you to heel-toe your feet together somewhat. And you could bring them together a little bit more, Sydney. Yeah, so they're right on top of your ankles. Up onto the balls of your feet, heels up. And tap your heels down twice more. Heels up, yes. And down. Find a spot to stare at that's not moving. We call that drishti. Stare is not really the best word, but look at. All right, release. Come on up into your 5-star once again. Stretch it out. Interlace your fingers at your low back. keep your hands bound, or you could grab a strap and I'll get you one if you need it. You're going to take your arms right over your head and stretch out your shoulders. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Relax your head. That's it. Yes, Emma. Bend your knees. You could separate your feet another inch or two. And if it's insane for your shoulders to do this, then pulse and lift up. And pulse and lift up. Straps are lovely here too. This is what I use because my shoulders are so tight. Oh, now don't break your shoulders off, Emma. You have to leave here with shoulders, okay? But feel that stretch in your shoulders. If your arms are bound, release them. Press your feet into the floor, squeeze those legs together. Feel that ripple of strength take you up to stand, whole way up to stand. Left-sided triangle. Move your left foot to 12 o'clock. So left foot goes to 12 o'clock. Back foot is pigeon-toed. And we're looking for that horizontal line, the horizon line, perpendicular to the floor, keeping that spine so stick straight. And then let your hand descend down to the floor, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Reach your fingertips, even your fingernails up towards the ceiling, but also have this retraction of your shoulders, drawing your shoulder blades together and the back of your head, pushing into my hand. Yeah, so your cervical spine is in line with the rest of your spine. Look down at your front foot and fly into your half moon, in and out 3 to 4 times. Feel the rubber bands of your tissue. You feel them loading and unloading? Like a balloon that you blow up or stretch before you blow up, rather. That's what you're up to with this posture. And about the 3rd or 4th time, move into it and stick it. A block under your hand. Really helps with balance. Do you want a block, Cindy, or are you trying to do it without? If you have a block under your hand, it actually gives you more access to looking up towards the ceiling. So those of you that don't use a block, maybe just tonight, humble yourself to using a block so you can really look up towards the ceiling and stretch out as much as you possibly can. Stretch, 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 stretch. Get super, super long and stretched. Swing your back foot to meet your front foot, forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. High push up all the way down to your mat. All the way down to your mat. Listen carefully. Slide your right knee up to your right elbow. So you're going to keep it on the floor, but you're sliding the inseam of your leg, your pant, up to your right elbow. Prop yourself up slightly. Thread your left arm underneath you. Left arm underneath you in the space between your right hand and your body. Lift your right arm up to the ceiling and go into a supine twist. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Feel that twist. Regulating your breath. 4 parts. Come back to your belly. Bring both legs together. Now the left inseam, the left knee up towards your left elbow. Press your hands into the floor. Thread your right arm under. Lift your left arm up to the ceiling and roll it on over. If you find that your shoulder's not touching the floor, it is okay if your knee lifts up, if your left knee lifts up. That's perfectly fine, because then you're kind of on this fulcrum, this sort of seesaw. Your body's the seesaw, the board, and your hip is like the fulcrum. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm saying. Now you can really enjoy that stretch, right? Because you're just sort of balanced there on your hip. And how, like, you do the same thing. Go ahead and lift that knee. Roll so much that knee comes up. And now just balance yourself on that hip and feel that stretch, that diagonal line through your body. You could even relax this leg a little more. That'd be heavy to accentuate that stretch. All right, come on back to your belly. Move your hands to, we'll return both legs together. Move your hands to the base of your ribs, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. We should have just stayed on our bellies. I'm sorry. Roll out to a high push up, all the way down to your belly once again. We're going to do locust pose. So interlace your fingers at your low back. Move your knuckles towards the space behind you and lift your torso, lift your legs, tuck your chin quite a bit. Look at something, just a few, maybe a foot out in front of you. That's it. You want a long, long neck. Stay with it in and release. Rotate your head. Put your right ear on the floor. Right ear on the floor. Let your bind go. If your hands are bound, let them go. Let your hands rest on the floor. Shoulders round forward. Move your right forearm across the front edge of your mat. Right forearm across the front edge of your mat. Bend your left knee. Capture your left foot from the inside. So you're capturing your left foot from the inside. Press your forearm into the floor and kick against your hand. Open up that left shoulder. Couple breaths here. Incrementally keep kicking and asking that left shoulder to chill out and relax. Relax left shoulder. Relax left shoulder. And release. Let's go to the other side. Bend your right knee. Grab the inside of your ankle. And again, find the ease in your shoulder and the strength in your quad, your right quad. Like kick against your hand. Lift up more and kick and release. Left ear to the mat. So rotate your head so that your left ear is on the mat and round your shoulders down to the floor. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Put your knees down on the floor. One camel pose. Stand on your knees. Hands at your butt, on your buttocks basically. Your palms are right at that top crest of your hips. Push down. So you're pushing down with your hands and lifting your heart up towards the ceiling. Get really stretched out all across your chest. Keep that length. Come back with your long spine. Swing your legs out in front of you, keeping the length of your spine. Arms out and lower your body bone by bone slowly to the floor. Make this a little bit of a core work. We're not going to do much more core than this. So really suck those guts in and down you go. Nice, Brooke. Yes, Caitlin, that's it. Using that core whole way down. Once you land, press your feet into the floor for bridge pose. So bend your knees and put your flat feet on the floor and lift your hips up for your bridge. Interlace your fingers and reach your knuckles down to your ankles. Even rock back and forth to get your shoulders underneath your chest. And let go of that bind if you have it. And lower bone by bone right back down to the floor. You can repeat that or do wheel. We're going to do 2 more. So 3 breaths and 5 breaths. If you want to wheel for a longer period, you can stay up the whole time. So again, Amanda's demonstrating the wheel if that's what you want to do. Yep, we're already 2 breaths in. 3 more. So if you aren't doing wheel, you could take bridge, the same thing we just did. Last 2, really use the strength of your arms and press your feet down. Final exhale. Come on down, tuck your chin. Next one is for 7 breath cycles. So press your feet into the floor, hands into the floor, and lift on up. Let's see it, Brooke. You separate your hands just a little bit more. Give yourself some more space in your chest. Yeah, you don't want to pull your hair. Yeah, and this is where you want it. Right here. Good, Brooke. That's it. Keep pressing your hands and you got it. Yes, you got it. Another breath in. and out. Just 3 more. Slow in and out. Yes, 2 more. Stay with it. Last one. There's something to discover here. Tuck your chin and come on down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together and knees down to the floor. Similar to how we started tonight. Yeah, exactly. And move your feet up closer towards your, yeah, so you can really get that stretch on the midline of your legs. Bring your knees together and cross your legs. So knees together and cross your legs like you know, your thighs against thighs. Reach up and grab your ankles and pull your ankles towards your body. I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera so Jane and Allison can see me. Or it looks like Allison's are still in the house. So cross your legs, grab your ankles, and pull your legs apart. Stretch out the outside of your legs, the lateral aspect of your legs. Release and do the other side. Cross the other way. Grab your shins or ankles, whatever you can get a hold of, and just pull them down to the floor. Pull them to your face. I'm going to come around and see if everybody's picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, you got it, Sydney. You could even lift up a little bit, separate your legs a little bit, rest your head down though, and just yank your legs. Yeah. Same with you. Lift up a little bit and then down. There. You're just pulling them apart as much as you can. You get in that line stretch. And release, reclining pigeon. Put your flat feet on the floor. Put your right ankle over your left knee. So yep, making a figure 4. Put your right hand in that hole that you created. And then your left hand goes on the outside of your leg. And you can grab your thigh, yep, or even your shin and rest your body down. Dig your right elbow into the inside of your knee. Just keep your body laying down, but just put a little tension right here so you can feel that stretch in your hip. So if you just dig this, yeah, this is a little bit, it's just subtle, so you can get more of a stretch in your hip. Yep, you're halfway there. So just like that, this hand through, this hand on the other side, and bend your knee a lot. You can grab your shin, grab the outside of your shin, and then rest your head down and just push this in. Use this elbow and dig it into this, yeah, so you get that torque there in your hip. Yeah, you got it, Caitlin. All right, other side. Mm-hmm. Yep. Release, single seated leg extension. Come up to a seated position. Right leg, stretch it out long. We're going to do a side bend tonight. So put your right hand underneath your right calf or even underneath your heel. So, like we do in dancers, hand out like a pizza. Thumb goes under. Yep, the other side. Yeah, exactly. That'll keep your shoulder open. Opposite arm now, you're going to do a side body bend. Release, other side. So now, right. Yeah. This time, hand inside, Angelis. So instead of outside, take it on the inside. Yes. Because this will keep your shoulder externally rotated. And then arm up. Good. And you are flexible enough to reach your hand down towards your ankle. You could even probably grab your ankle, your heel, and I keep, yeah, that's it. And now, side body bend. Nice, Jared. Come back to center. Both legs long, arms up towards the ceiling. Bend your knees for most of you. Guts in. And forward fold. Grab your feet. Inversion. Inversions could be a headstand, handstand, or you could do waterfall. That would be more restorative. Waterfall, you would lay on your back and put the block right underneath your sacrum, that bony plate at the base of your spine. You know what the sacrum is. So just lift yourself up and keep walking backwards a little bit like a crab walk. Get that sacrum, and now rest it down on the block, right on the block. Rest your body down and then lift your legs right over your head. And your torso can lay down on the floor. And hoist your legs up. Caitlin, you could move that block towards the front of the mat just a little bit. So it's a little, adjust it to where it's comfortable. Yeah, there you go. If you want shoulder stand. That's it, Sam. Really hug in, hug in. Find that drishti, that still spot behind you, and just stare at it. Stare is not the right word. Softly look at it. If you're in shoulder stand, move into plow. Bend your knees and put your knees outside your ears. Do you have kids, Cindy? Oh, okay, because this is a great move when you have kids. You can just put your knees against your ears and you won't hear them. And then slowly roll out to your back. If you had a block there, though, scoot it out of the way so you don't bang into it. Supine twist to one side. In other words, take both knees over to one side and twist your upper body to the other side. Even look over to the other side. And your body's needs have changed at this point, right? You're not doing those sun salutations and quite the energetic muscular poses. And so your breathing's going to change. But continue to abide by the 4-part breath. Might be softer, might be slower. But you're looking for that slow inhale, a moment of stillness, equally slow exhale, and wait until you take your next breath in. Hug both of your, did we do the other side yet, Amanda? Okay, flip over to the other side, supine twist to the other side. Oh, Jean, you made it back. I'm so glad you got back in here for Shavasana, the most important part of yoga. Supta Baddha Konasana. This is our third time doing this tonight. We started this way. Did it in the middle of class. My, has your body changed in 1 hour? And Shavasana. If you're here in the studio, there's a cool eye towel near the top of your mat, or there will be in a moment. You can put that over your eyes, your forehead. Get as comfortable as you possibly can. And that might mean putting blocks underneath your knees if your lower back is tight. It might mean experimenting with your hands, either on the floor or your belly. Go ahead and fidget for just a few more moments and commit to stillness, absolute stillness. Even your breath can return to a gentle, quiet inhale and exhale. Notice the air going into your lungs and leaving your lungs. On your next exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Roll onto your right side. Press yourself up into a seated position. Inhale your arms up to the ceiling. Hands to heart center. 3 ohms. Breathe in. Om. Om. Instead of clapping, look at your neighbor and say namaste. Namaste, Emma. Namaste, Sydney. Thank you, Allison and Jane, from joining us from afar. Namaste, namaste.